Debuting in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog has quickly become one of the most popular characters in the Sonic universe. So let's go over his origins and how he's quickly spread into all of Sonic media. Notably, there will be some spoilers from previous games, like Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, so be aware. Shadow the Hedgehog's story begins with Sonic's arch-nemesis, Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik's grandfather, Professor Gerald Robotnik. Gerald Robotnik was a great inventor and kindly man who wished to see his inventions benefit all of humanity. As part of this, he created the Ark, the first space colony created by mankind. Part of the purpose of the Ark was to create the ultimate life form and immortality, and it was Gerald Robotnik who was in charge of this project. At some point, this led to the creation of a prototype of the final life form, the Final Hazard. However, tragedy struck when his granddaughter, Maria, became deathly ill with a disease that had no cure. So, Gerald used the research into the ultimate life form as an excuse to try and cure his dying granddaughter. This led to the creation of Shadow the Hedgehog. In order to create Shadow, Gerald used the DNA of the evil alien conqueror Black Doom, who secretly wanted to use Shadow as a vanguard for his invasion of Earth. Shadow was born on the Ark, and as Gerald was conducting research on curing Maria here, Maria also lived on the space colony at the time. Maria and Gerald became Shadow's only friends, and as such, their ideals were passed on to him. Gerald often spoke of making people happy through the power of science, and Maria loved people and Shadow. It was Maria's boundless love that would especially resonate with the Dark Hedgehog. While Gerald spoke of making people happy through the power of science, the Ark also contained a weapon research facility where the Eclipse cannon was created, presumably by Gerald. This cannon had the capability of destroying an entire planet, as demonstrated on the moon in Sonic Adventure 2. And I'm not exactly sure how Gerald rationalized this as being something that could make people happy, but I'll just assume somehow it went into his research on curing Maria. Military guards landed on the Ark to destroy Gerald's research and shut down the Ark under the premise there was an accident. Really though, they were sent to destroy Gerald's research project into the ultimate life form. This led to the death of Gerald's granddaughter, Maria. In her final moments, Maria saved Shadow's life, telling him everyone's fate depends on him.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
The death of Maria would drive Gerald Robotnik insane. Gerald now instead worked to punish all of those who had caused Maria's death, and eventually end it all for everybody in the world. While Shadow was saved by Maria, the military still managed to seal him away for 50 years before being released by Dr. Eggman Robotnik. Throughout the events of Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow fights alongside Dr. Eggman Robotnik against mankind, hell-bent on revenge against everyone for Maria's death. However, he eventually remembers Maria's love and Maria's true final words to protect the planet and everyone who lived there. With his tragic past, Shadow exists with a chip on his shoulder. However, ultimately, he seeks to do good with less overall moral qualms than Sonic has. This leads the two to regularly clash, even if they have similar end goals. Interestingly, according to Takashi Iizuka, who created Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow was only meant to appear in Sonic Adventure 2, and as such, the ending of the game sees Shadow sacrificing his own life to save all of humanity, using the last of his power to chaos control the Ark reactor back into orbit from a collision course into planet Earth, then falling from space to the Earth.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Thanks to the strong positive fan reaction around Shadow the Hedgehog, the character was brought back for 2003's Sonic Heroes, where the Sonic team, in particular Rouge the Bat, discover he survived the incident. Since then, Shadow has gone on to become a Sonic series staple. He was playable in the 2003 GBA game Sonic Battle, received his own game, Shadow the Hedgehog, in 2005, he's playable in 2006's Sonic the Hedgehog, he's playable in both Sonic Rivals 1 and 2, he appears in 2010's Nintendo DS version of Sonic Colors, and 2011's Sonic Generations, 2014's Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, is in the DLC for 2017 Sonic Forces, and of course has a major role in 2024's Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. He's also been in a multitude of Sonic spin-off games and is even an assist trophy in Smash Bros. Beyond games, Shadow has become a regular in other Sonic media, from shows like Sonic X, Sonic Boom, and Sonic Prime, to being introduced in the long-running Archie Comics Sonic the Hedgehog series. Shadow made his cinematic debut in 2022's Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where he and Project Shadow were teased in a post-credit scene. Shadow is a major part of the third Sonic the Hedgehog film, where he's voiced by none other than Keanu Reeves. For more Shadow, check out GameSpot's very own Max Blumenthal's high-level Shadow gameplay from Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, or for General Sonic, a video I made on 12 things you may not know about Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'll see you next time.